What's up, gamers? It's your boy Put here, back with another Magic the Gathering deck tech and gameplay video for you. And if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know that I love Midrange. And we've got another Midrange for you, so let's go check it out. This Midrange deck is a bit jankier maybe than your usual one because it's built around Lifegain, right? Because we've got Ajani's Pridemate here, and we've got Resplendent Angel here, which both have really nice life gain triggers. So for Resplendent Angel, if you don't know, at the beginning of each end step, if you gained 5 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance, which is really good. This is a really strong creature. The problem with Resplendent Angel is usually if you play her on turn 3, you have a hard time getting that trigger to actually go off before, you know, like turn 4 or 5, unless you're playing like a super focused life gain deck. So that's a problem we've had in the past, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more in just a second. But we also have Ajani's Pridemate, and whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Ajani's Pridemate. This is just a really strong card. Of course, it's vulnerable, it's easy to remove, but it's a 2/2 for 2, which is like vanilla. It's not like the end of the world to play a 2/2 for 2, but this immediately is going to be getting bigger, like if we're playing any form of life gain, right? So what we want to do is play around these and have like, we're not playing a life gain aggro where we're throwing a bunch of cards into trying to gain us life really quickly to bulk these guys up super fast, right? We want to play a mid-rangey game that plays a little bit more conservative. We've got removal, we've got planeswalkers, we've got recursion, we've got a lot of things going for us here. And the way we're going to do this is mainly with Sorin, Vengeful, Bloodlord. This is a really powerful planeswalker in this new War of the Spark set, because as long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. Yeah, in any form of life gain deck, this is bonkers. This is so good. And you can just use his +2 to deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. So basically what we want to do is be getting Ajani's Pridemate, Resplendent Angel onto the field, and dealing damage to our opponents or their creatures with our creatures in order to gain life, and then bulk these guys up or bulk our board up with Resplendent Angel. So a couple of ways we do that is with Midnight Reaper. First of all, Midnight Reaper helps us draw cards in the mid game, so he's just a nice choice. But it also, whenever a creature, non-token creature we control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. Now, normally this is bad because it's dealing damage to us, but with Sorin, we actually don't take any damage from that because we get dealt 1 damage and we gain 1 life. Not only do we not actually take damage, it's going to proc the life gain on Ajani's Pridemate because it's dealing damage. This is great. This is all good for us if we can get that combo, of course. It's not like ideal, but it's fairly easy. We also have Spawn of Mayhem. We're running 2 Spawn of Mayhem here, and at the beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a +1/+1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem. First of all, this is kind of an aggressive tactic because we're dealing damage every turn to the opponent, and we have a big flyer, but also we're going to be gaining life with Sorin if we have both of these on the field. Gain life for when we hit the opponent and when we hit ourselves, so we don't lose out with Spawn of Mayhem and Sorin. It's so great. I love it. I to be fair, in all my practice games, I never actually got this combo, this little interaction to occur. We'll see if we can get that in the gameplay today. Let's hope. No promises, but that would be really fun. Okay, other things we're running. We have 2 Seraph of the Scales because she's just really good. 4/3 flyer for 4. We can give her Vigilance or Death Touch and Afterlife 2. This is just really powerful. It's nice, versatile card, good all around in any kind of, you know, Abzan or Orzhov mid-range deck or an Angels deck or something like that. It's just a good card. We also have 2 Ajani's Pridemate, or not Ajani's Pridemate. We have 4 of those. We have 2 Ajani Adversary of Tyrants, particularly because we do want to sometimes bring back Ajani's Pridemate and Tithe Taker or Hunted Witness to the field using his -2, but sometimes we also just want to bulk up our creatures with his +1/+1. So this honestly, if you were going to cut something, he's probably the one who doesn't exactly fit in this deck, but I do like it because of the recursion there. We're able to bring things back from the graveyard against control. That's really important. And Sorin can do the same thing for us with his -X, and that's also very helpful. This is why Sorin is so good, because he's very versatile. It's not just like with Ajani, you bring back something with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is any mana cost as long as you subtract, as long as you lose the right loyalty counters, right? So we can bring back Resplendent Angel, Midnight Reaper, Spawn of Mayhem, Seraph of the Scales, all that good stuff. Other things we're playing. We're playing 2 God-Eternal Oketra. She's just so good in any kind of creature-based deck, especially like mid-range creature-based decks. She's really strong because she's going to be creating us tokens, and she's got double strike. And if she's removed, we can put her back into our library, 3rd from the top. So really, really strong card here. It's a 3/6 for 5 with double strike, and creates 4. It's not just like normally when we're creating tokens, right? We're creating like 1/1s or something, right? Like Amara, Soul of the Accord creates 1/1s. Tristani creates 1/1s. This is 4/4 zombie warrior creature tokens with vigilance. Those are beefy little dudes. They're not little. They're beefy dudes, okay? That's going to be some power on the board. We also have God-Eternal Bontu. This is mainly for fun. This card does not have to be in this deck, but I like it because it's kind of fun with God-Eternal Oketra because we can play this, create a token, and then immediately sacrifice it and several other permanents in order to draw us some cards in the late game. That's something we're going to need. It's going to be very important because part of the problem with these kind of decks is that they run out of cards, and so we want to have card draw outlets like Midnight Reaper and God-Eternal Bontu. Now, one thing I did try out in this deck earlier was Twilight Prophet. There were 2 things that I considered that you may want to also consider. Twilight Prophet as a way to draw cards and deal some damage to the opponent. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is that card's converted mana cost. The problem with this card is that it's vulnerable. As with most of these cards, you know, we can't give them indestructible or anything like that. But the problem with Twilight Prophet is that we have a hard time actually getting the City's Blessing. This belongs more of like a vampire aggro, like vampire tribal deck. So that was the main problem I had with it, is we're rarely actually going to be getting to the City's Blessing in at a time where that's actually helpful. By the time, we're that late in the game, we're either about to win or we're about to lose to control. So that's kind of the problem with that card. I also tested out Gideon's what is it called? Gideon's Company. This is actually, I believe, from the Gideon Planeswalker deck. So take this with a grain of salt. It's kind of a weak card in most decks, but whenever you gain life, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Gideon's Company. That's really strong. But my problem was I was having to sacrifice sources of life gain to play this card, I felt like. I was having to sacrifice other powerful things in the 4 slot, like Seraph of the Scales and Spawn of Mayhem. This is just not as good as those. As much as I want something to put +1/+1 counters on whenever we gain life, I think these are better options, actually. So this is an option, especially if you're building a budgety version of this. You can cut some of these more, these mythic rares in the 4 slot here to play Gideon's Company. It's not a bad choice. And if you're just doing this and in a very budgety way, put a bunch of Gideon's Company, put a bunch of Ajani's Pridemates, and just get as much life gain as you can. Make a life gain deck, but we want to do it in a way that's a little more conservative, is what I'm trying to do here. So other things we have, Gideon Blackblade. Just really nice Planeswalker, and it's a 3-drop, and it's a 4/4 human soldier creature token, or creature with indestructible. It's still Planeswalker, and we can use it to give our creatures vigilance, lifelink, or indestructible. The main reason we run this is because we also sometimes we need that lifelink early on before we get Sorin, or just because we don't draw Sorin, and we want to have another way to give our creatures lifelink to help us trigger those abilities, right? And this also can give them vigilance or indestructible, so that's also nice. And if we are able to plus him up several times, we can use him as removal. Speaking of removal, we play 3 Mortify and 3 Despark. Mortify is against other mid-range and aggressive decks where we want to kill creatures, and Despark is versus control, because this basically is really, 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 really sweet removal against Planeswalkers. It's so easy to, if an opponent plays Nicol Bolas, the Dragon God, we just play Despark and exile it immediately. They can't even get it back with like Command the Dreadhorde or something like that. So this is a nice option. Other things that I've missed, have I missed anything else? Oh yes, we play 300 Witness because we want to have a little board presence early, and this is a 2-for-1, so if we're against an aggressive deck like Mono Red, we have a blocker, and then it dies, we have another blocker that's going to gain us life. So that's also very nice to have. Really the same reason we play Tithe Taker. Not only is this a little bit, like, we do want to be a bit aggressive against those control decks, but also this is a very good option against aggressive decks like Mono Red, because it slows them down on our turn, right? It makes their instants cost 1 more, and this has Afterlife 1, so we can use it as a blocker, and then we get another blocker out of it in order to get to our more powerful cards. And we play one Liliana Dreadhorde General. I couldn't really resist doing it. Sometimes we're going to be getting to the very late game with, with a bunch of lands, we're flooding out or something, or we just been playing a grindy game against another mid-range deck or something like that. We drop in a Liliana Dreadhorde General, and that's a lot of power. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card, or we +1 to create a zombie token, or we can make each player sacrifice 2 creatures, which will draw us cards, and remove their creatures. And if we get her to our ultimate, each opponent chooses a permanent in control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. And in that case, we basically just win the game. Lands, we're running, I believe I put it 24, yeah. I thought about cutting it down, but then I was like, well, we're playing these gods and we're playing Liliana, so we actually need to have 24, especially when we don't have like a way to ramp and draw more lands in these colors. So we really need 24. And because I'm playing a slightly budgeted version, we do have 3 Orzhov Guildgates and only 3 Godless Shrines and 2 Isolated Chapels. Of course, if you want this to be as good as it can be, you want to have 4 of each of these and probably no Orzhov Guildgates, but this is just a replacement for the ones I'm lacking in the 2 colored lands. I think I've probably talked about everything else that I need to. If you have suggestions for this deck, a little, creative ways I might want to tweak this, or you might want to tweak this, put it in the comments below so that everybody can see it and we can all, have a little chat about the deck. I do love interacting with you guys. It's always nice to see people commenting and saying that, oh, I like this deck, but you might want to try this. It's really fun to get to have those conversations in the comments. So let's get to playing. Okay, folks, we're going to play game 1 here against my man Focus. So I didn't play a ton of practice games with this deck. Oh, okay, I was in the middle of a sentence, but this hand is very interesting. I kind of actually like it, though. That's the thing. That's the bad thing about it. We need to draw into like a Gideon or a Sorin here to make this actually work, but we're going to, let's just keep it. Fine, why not? We do have an Orzhov Guildgate into a Plains, which will allow us to get our Pridemate down on turn 2. Ooh. Going against mono red, we're going to need to get some life gain ASAP. So let's get Ajani's Pridemate up. He probably gets shocked or Wizard's Lightning this turn. As I was saying, I didn't play a ton of practice games, so there's probably some more tweaking to be done with this deck. I played a little bit, and they went fairly well. The one game that I actually lost, I probably played like 3 or 4 games with this. Maybe more. Did I play more than that? It went through a couple changes as I was playing, so I don't remember exactly how many I played with this version. But the one game that I lost pretty badly, it was because I just got mana screwed. I ended up drawing like 4 swamps, and I couldn't play any of the cards in my hand because they needed double white. So that was pretty lame. Okay. The problem with Midnight Reaper is that it's going to be dealing damage to us, and I really don't like that. But I think we play another Ajani's Pridemate here. And I mean, if they kill it, we take the hit, right? I don't feel comfortable playing Midnight Reaper here when we don't have a way to gain life back. I should also say, this is not a matchup I ran up against. They're playing Is It? Okay, this changes my whole frame of reference for this game. I was assuming they were playing mono red, but it looks like they're not. Okay. So they're getting buffed here pretty well. I would expect another Summit Sprint here, maybe. Wizard's Lightning on my Ajani's Pridemate. So I take 6 damage here, which I don't love, but I guess it's not the end of the world. What we can do is play Godless Shrine. I'm going to actually let it come in tapped, play Hunted Witness and Ajani's Pridemate, because really we just need blockers here. They only have 2 cards left in their hand, and they finally got their blue mana, which makes me a little bit scared that they may have a Chart of Course here to draw into more cards after they attack. But what do you know? What are we going to do? Lightning Strike on Ajani's Pridemate. So, again, not the end of the world. We still have a blocker here. Let's block with Hunted Witness and see what we draw. Hopefully it's good. That is not good, but it could be much worse. Ooh. I guess, I mean, the thing, like, I need to play Midnight Reaper here, because I need a blocker, but also we need to draw some cards. So I'm going to not attack. I'm going to hold up both of these blockers, because it's not the end of the world if they attack 2 here. If they attack with both these Lava Runners. And okay, so they're playing Wizards. They're playing like Wizards Rush, pretty much. Yeah, so we block here and we block here, and we gain 1 life, lose 2 life. No, we lose 1 life because non-token creature. Ooh, God-Eternal Bontu, huh? God-Eternal Bontu. Okay, so we can play... You know what? I'm going to play the God-Eternal Bontu. I'm going to sacrifice 2 lands because I have another one to play, and we draw straight lands. Are you kidding me right now? Really? I might lose this turn. It would be very easy for me to lose this turn. If they play like a, if they even had what is it? Maximize altitude or something for this Get to Lava Runner, we're in a world of hurt here. Burning Prophet. So they're low on instants and sorceries, it seems, which is quite nice. And I need to get this Mortify up to play on Adelies. That will shut them down for a little bit. But really, more importantly, we need... Dang, okay. Well, that's a thing. So that's going to be 2 damage. I go to 7. Adelies becomes a 3/3, and this becomes a 3/3. But they're out of mana here, so they take me to 4. Are you kidding me? So many lands. Goodness gracious. Okay. We need to... I need to go ahead and mortify Adelies now, because if I wait, she can still buff the other wizards, and I can't have that. I can't have that. Okay. So hopefully they don't have a Wizard's Lightning here. If they have a Wizard's Lightning or a Lightning Strike, I lose the game. Instead, they have another Adelies. That's wonderful. Great. That's just great. So I go to 2. Is there a way that I don't lose here? Okay, so we go, let's say we play Sorin. I'm probably going to need to attack with God-Eternal Bontu to stay alive, because he does have lifelink now. So if I ping him for 1, I can go to 8 this turn, but if I don't have a blocker, I'm going to die pretty hard. So I think I need to actually minus Sorin in order to get back Ajani's Pridemate, I think. So we go -2, we pull an Ajani's Pridemate back on the field, which will get buffed by this. He's got Menace. They'd be very foolish to block this. I'm pretty confident I still die next turn because I do have 1 blocker, but they also have 1 flyer that's going to get buffed, and these are all going to get buffed up. But they only have 1 card in hand, and I don't know what that is. So we have a chance here. Now that we drew Sorin, we have a chance. That's what I'm going to say. All right. I wish I had removal for Adelies. If they don't, though, if they can't kill me this turn, so they're going for the Sorin, and that's to be expected. We didn't really have like a blocker for that anyway. So they drew land. Resplendent Angel, you say? Okay, so now we have a blocker. And I think I just don't attack here. They have 1 card in hand, and I'm pretty sure it's not an instant or sorcery. In fact, it may be another Adelies. That may be why they're stuck with it. Or it's just something big that they can't play yet, like a 5-mana something. I don't know. I don't want to attack because I want to have all my blockers up if they draw like a Wizard's Lightning or something. I want to make sure I don't get blown out next turn. So I'm going to pass. And I also really want to keep my Resplendent Angel alive because this can become a 5/5 with lifelink next turn. Though, okay, Wizard's Lightning on Resplendent Angel, that's, yeah. I knew if they drew that, that's probably what they were going to be doing because they need to get rid of that before it can get lifelink. They scryed to the top, which worries me. Now they've got all these big papas here. But they're just attacking with Adelies, so they're playing conservative with these, yeah, because they know they will die. Okay, so I'm at 4. Please, can I not draw a freaking land? That's game. They scryed to the top, so I'm assuming they've got another Wizard's Lightning or something. I'm going to go ahead and say good game and then pass the turn. and see what they get. I mean, if they don't get anything, they'd be dumb because they got a scry last turn with Burning Prophet. And there's an opt, so they probably, yeah, so they draw something here to make probably Adelish just become a 4/4 and kill me because I don't have a flying blocker. Did they scry to the bottom? They scry to the bottom, and they draw, hopefully, nothing good. We could have it, we could potentially not lose here. Okay, that's GG. Yep, I can't block all these guys. So that's the game. Wait, why? Why focus? You have 3 attackers. What are you doing? I mean, this kills me, so I can't really play it. I still lose though. That's the thing. My opponent made a misplay there, but I can't. You know, there's nothing we can do about it at this point. We didn't get our life gain off. We had a bad starting hand that I decided to keep because I thought it'd be fun to play with 3 Ajani's Pridemates and just draw into a Sorin, which I, eventually did, but not in time. So let's see about a game 2. Hopefully it won't be against something, it's not about the matchup. It's really about how our deck plays. And if it doesn't play well, maybe that's on my part on building. Okay. Okay, our opponent goes first, so we're on the draw. We also have a turn 1 Hunted Witness. We have 3 draws before turn 3 in order to get our 3rd land for Mortify / Spawn of Mayhem potentially. I'm going to keep this hand. It's risky. This is a very greedy hand, but it paid off just now with that Isolated Chapel. So we go Hunted Witness, and if we could play a turn 3 Spawn of Mayhem, that would be huge. So it's Gruul. I will attack. If they block with their Llanowar Elves, they're silly. Okay, that's fine. I'm expecting either like a Gruul Spellbreaker or Rhythm of the Wild. That's fine. Okay. Now, we could Mortify that, or we could just play Spawn of Mayhem and go a little more aggressive. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to play aggressive because they still don't have... Like, they're stuck on 2 mana here, which is a big bummer. They do have a Llanowar Elf to help ramp. They could have removal for flyers, which would be a shame, and I would not like that, but it's possible. Another Rhythm of the Wild, you say? Okay, so they're getting double dose. Okay, we're just gonna attack. We hit them for 5, then we play Resplendent Angel. Hopefully we can draw into a land to play Seraph of the Scales, so we'll have a huge front of flyers here. So they finally got their 3rd land. Excellent. Gruul Spellbreaker, okay. With triple Riot, so that's a big boy. They give it haste. Yeah, it's got haste. Okay, I take that damage. No blocks, sorry. And another Llanowar Elf. Okay, so we picked up a Plains. We could actually, probably the move here is to just Mortify that Gruul Spellbreaker. They potentially have more threats in hand, but we just play aggressive here. Don't attack with Hunted Witness because it dies to a 3-power Llanowar Elf, which is a bit scary, actually. When you got 2 Rhythm of the Wilds on the board, I don't see them pulling this out. They'd have to do something really... oh, jeez. They'd have to do something crazy right here, like play an Ilharg the Raiseboar, and then hit me with... What do you got? What do you got? Atali Primal Storm? Freaking Palaka Worm? That's good game. I lose now. I wasn't fast enough. In fact, what I should have done... The reason I used Mortify on their turn to get rid of the Gruul Spellbreaker is because Gruul Spellbreaker gets hexproof on their turn. So I was like, oh, I might as well just go ahead and kill it. They probably won't be able to murder me this turn. Holy moly. I mean, I take 16 damage here. I can't block that. I die. My word. That was a turn. That was a big turn. That was, I mean, they're basically playing the deck that I made. That was my last video. It's just basically you play Ilharg and then you drop in some crazy monster from your hand that you can't pay for in mana. So that was a thing. I guess I should have seen that coming. Because if I had held the Mortify to play on Ilharg before the I'm gonna keep this hand. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna keep another two land hand. This is making me mad. Am I? Okay. I'm gonna keep another 2-land hand if I can scry an Orzhov Guildgate to the top. What was I saying? I could have kept the Mortify and actually stayed alive in that game if I had killed the Ilharg as soon as it entered the battlefield before it actually attacked. I would have won in that case. But I was imagining just needing to go ahead and kill the Gruul Spellbreaker, though I probably shouldn't have killed the Gruul Spellbreaker because it wouldn't have been lethal that turn anyway. And I should have been thinking, I only really need one more turn to hit lethal. So, let's do... You know what? Let's actually get out another Ajani's Pridemate. Gideon Blackblade is huge for us in a couple turns. Actually, Sorin is great if we can get our 4th land here. That would be wonderful. But either of these are fine, actually. Gideon Blackblade or... So this is straight vampires? Yeah, okay. Vampires... I mean, I think we go Gideon here. We give... one, probably just indestructible. I mean, I could give it lifelink and buff the other one up, but there's not much reason to do that. So we just attack for 2, and then we're fine. Yeah, I mean, he can knock down my Gideon Blackblade to 2, but that doesn't really bother me too much anyway. I'm going to keep the Ajani's Pridemate alive as much as I can here until I can buff it up, which hopefully will be very soon if I can draw my 3rd land or 4th land. Legion Lieutenant. So these are getting, these boys are getting strong now. Okay, he'll go to 1 here if I let this through. I'm going to let it through because going to 1 is not the end of the world. That's the ticket right there. Okay, we go Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. Ajani's Pridemates are beefy as heck now. They both got lifelink. And we will go, you get indestructible. We're going to attack with you and attack with you. So we're going to gain a bunch of life. And this Ajani's Pridemate is going to be a beefster. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So here's how the deck is supposed to work. Look at these. Look at these. 2 Planeswalkers, 2 5/5 creatures that are spicy as heck. And we're about to get a Midnight Reaper on the field, which will... Okay, Call to the Feast is a bummer. Not the end of the world, though. Like, that's a bit of... That's power, but not... What am I even trying to say? Nothing we can't deal with. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so we're going to go Midnight Reaper here. And... This is great. I love this. I love this so much. We're going to give one of these... Do we want to give you Indestructible or Vigilance? Because if we give you Vigilance, they're going to double block, probably. Yeah, we'll just go Indestructible. Attack with you, attack with you. Our main goal is to keep Sorin alive as long as possible. So we need to hold up blockers for that to make sure we can. I mean, they could kill him potentially, but if they did, well, now that they have Vigilance, they can be a little more aggressive. Okay, so they're letting all that damage through. I mean, of course, they do have tons of life gain, but can they climb out of that? So they're going for my Gideon. They're going hard for the Gideon here, instead of the Sorin. Okay, I block you. No, I block you because I want to keep my Sorin alive. I can't keep my Gideon alive. I could potentially kill one of these just to get it out of the way. And that may be a good move here because it will draw me a card, potentially either to play my God-Eternal Bontu or something spicier, like, yeah, we get another Sorin. That's actually pretty good. Okay, they've got a lot of vampires on the field. We could get back our Midnight Reaper. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull back my Midnight Reaper onto the field. And I don't feel like God-Eternal Bontu doesn't feel like the right play right now. It just doesn't seem as helpful. Problem now is that, yes, they were probably right in going to kill the Gideon because I don't have Indestructible on these anymore. I need Flyer. I need Flyers right now, and I'm missing all of mine. I'm running 8 flying creatures in this deck, and I haven't seen a single one. But we'll go Tithe Taker here, I think. Do I even attack? I feel like maybe I don't attack. I need to hold up blockers because they're gonna attack in to try to kill my Sorin, which is fine because I've got another Sorin waiting in the wings. They could have like a super buff here, or maybe just another Call to the Feast. If they have Sanctum Seeker, that's bad. Sanctum Seeker is bad, and I know of course you would run Sanctum Seeker in Vampire's Tribal. Champion of Dusk, pretty much equally bad. Though not, I shouldn't say equally bad. They just have a handful of cards now, when just a second ago they had 1 card. Conclave Tribunal. Who are they? Pridemate, huh? Okay. That's fine. I need to get rid of this Radiant Destiny, so I'd love to draw a Mortify. That would be beautiful. Despark. Despark does not really do it for us. This is a weird matchup, Lifegain on Lifegain, and they've got more creatures on the field, which is makes me a little bit sad. And I can't bring Gideon back with Sorin. All right, I think at this point we just go ahead and play. I could destroy Conclave Tribunal at instant speed with Despark next turn, but that doesn't really help us a whole lot. So I'll just go ahead and play God-Eternal Bontu, and I'm gonna sack 2 lands in order to draw 2 cards. I could sacrifice Tithe Taker to have a blocker for Sky Marcher Aspirant, but I don't think that would be super wise. So I didn't draw any lands. I was expecting to draw lands because every time I've done that, I draw lands. So I think I still don't attack. I'm confident they have a Sanctum Seeker, so I may end up just dying soon. That would be a real shame. Maverick Fane, Dusk Apostle. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures, vampires you control attack, create a... Yeah, there's Sanctum Seeker. I actually think I might lose this game. This is kind of ridiculous, actually. I'm becoming sadder and sadder by the second. Okay. Yep, so they create more tokens every turn, and they deal me damage. So Resplendent Angel is great here, assuming I don't die like real soon. God-Eternal Bontu has Menace, but they're not worried about that because they've got vampire tokens out the butt. I'll go ahead and pass. So I've got a Mortify, so if they don't gain a ton of life this turn, I've got ways to destroy them. Okay, so they're going to attack with a couple creatures, though. Why? Okay. Oh, I was worried for them that they were making the wrong decision there, because they need to attack with a lot of creatures, so they gain a lot of life with Sanctum Seeker. Is it going to be enough, is the question. I block here. I block here. I think I block here. And here, I mean, this dies, and I'm not, well, I don't want you to die. Actually, maybe I do want you to die so I can have a flyer. I don't think that's right. I lose my Midnight Reaper, and that's okay because I need to draw a card. And Sorin is gonzo. If I don't draw a land here, I'm screwed. I think I am just screwed. Oh, I've never not flooded out at all. I haven't drawn a land in like my last 6 or 7 draws of cards because I drew some with God-Eternal, I drew with Midnight Reaper, and I've drawn like 3 turns in a row with no lands, which is unusual. So I can Mortify, Sanctum Seeker, or Despark Sanctum Seeker. Neither way is really a great way. I guess I just go ahead and Mortify him. I want to save a Despark for a Sorin, which I'm pretty sure they would probably run a Sorin in here. Though you really don't need to play Sorin in this deck, in a Vampires deck, because everything's pretty much got lifelink anyway. Radiant Destiny, that's terrible. So they all get +1 more, and I lose here. I mean, yeah, I think I actually... Well, no, because they don't have Sanctum Seeker anymore. I don't straight up lose here again. No blocks. Maybe I should have Desparked instead of what I did. Okay, well, that's a thing. Huh. Okay, I think we may be able to just stick this out. Because they're flooding really hard. We are reverse flooding. I think that's called starving. Which is bad. It's just bad. Remember how earlier, maybe you don't remember this, but when I was talking about this deck, I was like, yeah, we run God-Eternal Bontu. We don't really need God-Eternal Bontu, but it's nice to, it's kind of a fun thing to play. It's probably not really that necessary. It really doesn't go in this deck. And this is the God-Eternal that I draw. Not God-Eternal Oketra. No, I have not drawn that one yet. Just, yeah, it's just this one. It's fine. Just the one that doesn't really make much sense in this deck. Oh, yeah. I feel like that's just kind of how it goes. Okay, so they're just attacking all here. So we're going to do that. We've got to not die. So we block Legion Lieutenant. Actually, no, we want to kill you more than we want to kill you, actually. We block you. That is... Oh, there's 6 of those, so that's 24 damage. Do we just die here still? Yeah, I think we're dead. Pretty confident that we're dead here. So that's 16. What is that? 21, 25. Yep, they have exactly the right amount of damage, and I don't have lifelinkers on the field. That's a good game. Oh, then why did I block like that? I could have probably... Okay, no, I miscounted. I can't do math, apparently. Whew, that was a weird game. I do not like playing against vampires unless I'm playing control. I hate playing against tribal decks unless you're control, and you can just say, we'll just wipe the board again. We'll just keep on wiping the board over and over again. So let's at least play one more, try to kind of figure out what's going wrong with this. I've yet to really see the deck do exactly what I want it to. It did in that game, but it ended up we couldn't get enough damage fast enough because they just had blockers and whatnot, and I don't like that. Do I like this hand? I don't hate it. We have a Hunted Witness and a Tithe Taker, and if we draw another land, we've got a Gideon Blackblade or Midnight Reaper. I'm a greedy son of a gun. I'm going to keep that. I should probably be more aggressively mulliganing to try to get my lands right, but really, I hate playing the mulligan game because I feel like it doesn't really, I mean, it probably helps, but whatever. So we're showing Rakdos here, which makes me not really want to shock in a land if they're playing Rakdos aggro, but if they were playing aggro, they probably wouldn't not shock this in. They would have shocked it in to a Gutterbones or something, so this may just be Grixis control, and that's the theory I'm going with. I'm expecting to see probably Thought Erasure here. Yep, there's the Sulphur Falls, followed by nothing. That's nice. I'm a little bit hesitant to play Gideon Blackblade because, well, here's the thing. I could play him to get him out of the way with Thought Erasure, but if I play him, I'm going right into an Angrath, whatchamacallit. But I feel like I should go ahead and play it because Thought Erasure is too easy of removal for this. We'll just give you, what, Lifelink, I guess. Gain the life back that we spent shocking in a land, and hopefully they don't have Angrath's. I can't think of the full name of that card. What is it? Angrath's Rampage. There it is. The card that I was just like, oh, I really hope they don't have that. Yeah, they have that. Okay, well, we're still pinging away slowly. Ritual of Soot. The good news is, we have Afterlife on both of these, sort of. So we keep 2 things on the field. We take 3 damage and draw 3 cards, which should get us our 4th land for our Seraph of the Scales. Yes. And there's Ajani's Pridemate. Let's go ahead and play the Seraph of the Scales. Instead of, we could play Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants, but I think this is the choice for now. This gets us more damage, like, right away, which is what we need. They may have a Enter the God-Eternals here, which would make me sad. If they don't. Okay, so we've got 6 damage on the field right now. I don't care to give you Afterlife. I think I attack, and then I play Ajani's Pridemate. I want to keep up Despark for whenever they play a Nicobolus next turn, or potentially a Liliana. Return to the owner's hand. Okay, fine. Tyrant Scorn couldn't destroy it, but they can return it to my hand. I go to damage, and I don't play that again this turn because I want to keep up the 2 mana for Despark. Because if they play Nicobolus here and I don't have a response for it, that's going to be a big bummer. Okay. No Nicobolus. I can play this, but it doesn't help me to play it before combat, so I'm going to go... But this would. That could bring back a Tithe Taker, which probably isn't what we need. I say we just go to combat. Commence the end game. Yeah, so we can let that happen, and they amass 5. Why does it automatically pass to blockers after they've cast a spell? Why can't I... Okay, whatever. I want to mortify that bad boy right there. Keep my Ajani's Pridemate alive. And then I will end the turn because I really feel like I have to keep this Despark up. I kind of feel like they know that I have this, which is why they're not playing like a Nicobolus or a Liliana. Or is that what we see right now? Still no. Still no. Okay, again, I'm just going to go to combat and attack. If I played Ajani and put counters on them, I would have lethal, but I would be very surprised if they didn't have an answer here. Another commence the end game. Fine, because I've got another Mortify for you. We can keep on doing this over and over again, dude. We can keep on doing this over and over. Yeah, we'll end the turn. I've got this Despark in the holster. I'm waiting to play it. Come on. Yeah. No. Oh, jeez, Louise. Okay, well, there goes my Despark, I bet. No. They took my Seraph of the Scales. They must be playing, maybe they've got to Enter the God-Eternals here. Fingers crossed that that's not what's about to happen, because that would actually put a kink in my plans. Angrath's Rampage. I will sacrifice this spirit. I know it's a flyer, but I also like the lifelink of the soldier. Vicious Rumors. I discard Resplendent Angel. So they gain 1 life. I need to have Ajani up, ready to put counters on these puppies right here. Do they have a counter spell? No. Okay. So we go counters on both of these. They potentially have another Angrath's Rampage. But if they don't, I may just... Do we just win the game? It's never that easy, is it? It's never that easy. With control, there's always... Not always, obviously, because you can win the game. But there's always like another thing. They're like, oh, you thought you had me, but I've got this 1/1 that I'm about to put on the field and block you. And I have no idea what they have this turn, but they know that I have a Despark. So as soon as I play a... As soon as they play Nicol Bolas, they know I've got this. So what could they do? They could go Nicol Bolas, destroy Ajani's Pridemate to stay alive. Well, then I destroy Nicol Bolas, which in that case they could have another Lazotep plating. Oh boy. X equals 6, so they're going Ritual of Soot. Oh no. Okay. Okay. So they amass 4 here. That is despicable. Inspicable. If I don't draw well, that was a terrible top deck. Absolute trash. So we'll go, actually, I think we need to go Tithe Taker here. I could potentially drop in another Ajani to play Ajani's Pridemate, but I think this is just the play for now. I want to keep a Plains in hand in case they force me to discard. Like, if they force me, they play Vicious Rumors or something, or play, the enchantment that I can't remember. Why, what is happening in my brain? Anyway, the one that draws them a card and I have to discard, that one, I want to have a land that I don't care about to throw away into the trash can. You've got to be joking. They're going to win. They're going to win this game. They're going to go sacrifice Planeswalker. I lose my Ajani. Resolve. And then Thought Erasure takes my other Ajani. And now they've got a 9/9. Maybe I draw a Mortify and I kill it. Maybe I don't. Wait a second. I don't have to block this. I'm going to not block that. The bad news is, Enter the God-Eternals just wins them the game next turn. My thought was, I draw a creature, I play it, and I can attack with the Tithe Taker to take them to 2. But now here's the deal. If they have Enter the God-Eternals, they kill Tithe Taker, make a 13/13, though no, I still have a blocker because Tithe Taker has Afterlife. But if I... Yeah. This is fine. This is fine. And if they don't have Enter the God-Eternals or some other way to, like, exile Tithe Taker, then... they have to hold up as a blocker, and if I draw Mortify, then we're going to be okay. But they have a lot of land, and they actually have cards in their hand, which is scary. I'm not sure we're going to make it out of this alive. They were this close. They were this close. And I feel like with control decks at this point of the game, it's like, well, they may be on 2 life. But I guess they also don't have much of a board here. They have 1 zombie army and 1 Nicol Bolas. That's fine. Resolve that. I'll discard this Plains. Pass to attackers. Okay. At the end of this turn, I'll go ahead and Despark their Nicol Bolas. I've got Ajani's Pridemate. No, I don't attack. What am I thinking? No attacks. I mean, I could potentially just attack into the block, produce a Spirit, which will give me 1 damage over the next 2 turns that I can ping them with. That was the thought, maybe, to attack, but I feel like I'm putting myself at too much risk with this big creature on the field, and I don't have removal for it. If I had top decked a Mortify, I would have won. So they scryed to the top and drew, which is scary. So they've got a God-Eternal, which, yeah, then my Spirit plan wouldn't have worked anyway. So Spawn of Mayhem is a great play right now. So we go Spawn of Mayhem. We'll go ahead and drop that in. If they don't kill it in the next 2 turns, I'll be fine. I'll be a winner. I'm expecting Enter the God-Eternals. That's just I'm so scared of that card. It's too good. It's so good, and it kills so many things. Also, Nicol Dragon God kills my Spawn of Mayhem. And that hurts my feelings. Resplendent Angel is nice. That's actually very nice. So we pass the turns. They still don't know what's in my hand here, so they could potentially waste a Thought Erasure trying to get rid of this. So I have to exile something. This ability costs 6. And I have 6 lands on the field right now. I think I exile this from my hand, which is a shame.
My intellect is without limit.
Ritual of Soot kills everything. Wait. Oh, it's not 4 or less, it's 3 or less. Darn it, I thought that would kill their God-Eternal there. Seraph of the Scales. Oh, I hate this little token bug where the flying tokens don't look like they're flying. It's really terrible. Okay, Seraph of the Scales is a pretty good draw there. I'm gonna exile lands at this point, because I need to keep my little people alive. Wait a second. I think they're about to do something dumb. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. That's just very strange. Very strange thing to do. Please, can I top deck something good? Okay, I'm going to attack their face. Give my Seraph Death Touch. So their God-Eternal dies. I go to damage. In turn. So if they don't have removal for these spirits, they kind of look like they're flying. They look goofy though. I'm gonna exile the swamp on the field so maybe they Thought Erasure me here.
You have no weakness I cannot exploit.
Nicol the Ravager. We discard that. So maybe we top deck a Mortify and we win the game. Fingers are crossed. Or a Despark. Either one would work. Unless they could potentially have removal in their hand. They've been holding something up with a bunch of lands ready. Oh, they're going for it right now. Okay, they're doing Nicol the Arisen. They're going to put something on the field from... Yeah, they're probably going to put a Seraph of the Scales. Seraph of the Scales. Okay, Despark still wins us the game. I think we lose. I'm pretty sure we lose. Yeah, I'm gonna play this next turn out. All attack to the face. They block with Seraph of the Scales. They go to 1. So if they haven't killed my stuff by next turn, Nicol the Arisen deals 10 damage to target creature or planeswalker. They can draw 2 cards. Yeah, I mean I don't see this ending well for me. Tyrants Scorn. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and concede. Oh my gosh, that game was so long and tedious. I'm sorry that if you sat through that game, I'm sorry. It did not end in my favor. Well, now you've seen the deck. It did not perform well at all in this video. To be fair, I don't know, maybe to be fair, but I actually still think this deck is pretty good. I think Orzhov mid-range is good. Maybe let's put it that way. I think Orzhov mid-range is good, but maybe not with, this lifelink thing I'm trying to do. And I think you got to cut God-Eternal Bontu is just never helpful with this deck, really. You don't want to be sacrificing things. I think you probably replace him with another Midnight Reaper or potentially even another Seraph of the Scales or Spawn of Mayhem. But I feel like one of the problems I had was that I didn't have enough pressure early on. Or against the aggressive decks, I felt like I didn't have enough blockers early on. So maybe we go another Tithe Taker over God-Eternal Bontu. We move our curve forward a little bit. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know what you guys thought of this deck in the comments below. If you're still with me, I thank you. It really means a lot to me that you guys would spend a little bit of your time watching one of my videos. I'm glad that you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, maybe you don't. That's fine. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash like, and if you're new to the channel, I welcome you. Feel free to subscribe, join the crew, the club, the Wubbalub Dub. Okay, bye.